I need to go back and read that, by the way, because sometimes they like to sneak in some wordage there that is not real great. Okay, they're showing some games. Just let me know, you guys, if this is a good volume. By the way, I am going to have to talk over this because there's a good chance that they could go ahead and try and claim this. So when there's music playing, I will have to talk over it, unfortunately. So I'm going to read some chats while it's going on. Make it louder. I will increase the volume in just a second as soon as the music stops. So here we go. I'll increase the volume for you guys. All right. That should be good. Let me know what you think. Let me know if it's a good volume.
Welcome, and thank you all for joining us today. It's so exciting to be here back in Las Vegas in person. So thank you all for joining us and being part of our audience. And also welcome to all of you who are joining us online from around the world. So are you excited for today? We have some amazing new products to show you. So let's go ahead and get started. And you guys all know us well. At AMD, we're all about high performance and adaptive computing, and really using technology to create solutions to the world's most important challenges. Now, whether you're talking about cloud services or 5G networks or AI or automotive or PCs, AMD technology is truly everywhere, touching the lives of billions of people every single day. Now, we're in an incredibly busy time for AMD. It's an incredible period of innovation. We're in the midst of introducing actually 4 new architectures to the market across more than a dozen products. So if you look at it, we started with the Ryzen 7000 launch in September, and many of you joined us there. Next week, we're going to bring Zen 4 to high-end server processors, and then soon after that to notebook PCs. And we also have our Zen 4 C core optimized for cloud-native computing and our next-gen XDNA architecture that are going to launch in 2023. But of course, today, it's all about gaming, and we're here to talk about our next-generation gaming architecture with RDNA 3. So now just a minute about gaming, right? We all love gaming. Gaming is really in AMD's DNA. And when you look through 2025, we're expecting 3.5 billion gamers in the world. And our goal is really to push the limits of gaming innovation to really provide the best solutions across the board together with all of our gaming partners. So whether you're talking about developers creating new games and experiences, or you're talking about the companies that are serving the content, or you're playing your games on your devices, or you're a streamer that are really trying to stream those experiences to other gamers, our mission is to bring you the best experience possible for all of your gaming platforms. Now, Ryzen processors and Radeon graphics are really at the heart of all of the world's most popular gaming devices, including the top gaming PC OEM systems, cloud gaming services, Sony PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, Valve Steam Deck. We're also bringing gaming to automotive with the newest generation of Teslas. And of course, for all of the folks out there who are building your own PCs, we love the DIY market for all of the PCs that you build. Now, when you think about that, why is gaming so important to AMD? It's really all about pushing the envelope on innovation. Just over a month ago, we launched our next generation desktop PC processor, the Ryzen 7000 series, which was really the most advanced processors for gamers and creators. And the response has been really incredible. We have leadership performance per watt, we have phenomenal gaming and creative performance, and it's all enabled by our new Zen 4 core in 5 nanometer. Now, with Ryzen 7000, we also launched our next-generation AM5 desktop platform, which has all of the latest I/O, and we're committing to delivering socket longevity on that through 2025 and beyond for lots of future upgrades. And we also know that people love AM4, and AM4 is going to continue for a long, long time. And for there, Ryzen 7 5800X3D is also a fantastic choice.
That thing's dropped in price a lot recently, by the way.
Today, it's all about the next generation of Radeon graphics and how we deliver the future of gaming with the world's most advanced graphics architecture, RDNA 3. So let me start and tell you a little bit about RDNA 3. We really set truly ambitious goals for RDNA 3, And as you know, at the forefront for what we're doing is it's all about power and energy efficiency. And we want to make sure that we continue to innovate around performance per watt leadership to enable all of the gamer upgrades to be done with fantastic performance, but at a reasonable power. And we also wanted to significantly raise the bar in performance to support the next generation of 4K gaming and beyond, and really recognize that there are a lot of faster and higher resolution displays. And then finally, we also look at it as not just about the chip and not just about the card, but really what is the gaming experience we can bring. And that means new AMD software features, that means platform technologies, and really end-to-end solutions with our CPUs and GPUs and software coming together. So there's a lot of innovation in RDNA 3, and we'll tell you all about it today. Now, there's a lot been said about our new chiplet design, so let me start with our chiplet
that's
design.
pretty much exactly what I expected it to look like.
This is the world's first chiplet gaming GPU. Now, why did we use chiplets? Chiplets really allow us to use a modular approach to optimize the performance and efficiency of the overall design. And so with our chiplets, like we've done on the CPU side, on the GPU side, we're mixing and matching the right technology for each function. Now, the graphics compute die is a high-performance 5-nanometer technology design, and it contains all of the high-performance compute in the GPU. That includes the shaders, the display engine, and a brand-new media engine as well.
Oh, new media engine,
that's huge. And then the other
huge.
die is a memory cache die, and it's built in 6-nanometer process technology, and includes the memory subsystem that features the GDDR6 controllers, as well as up to 96 megabytes of infinity cache. And as a result, we have just an incredible capability with more than 61 teraflops of compute. By the way, do you guys think you need 61 teraflops of compute?
Yes. Yes. Yes, we do. We need all the teraflops,
We also have
baby.
The world's fastest chiplet interconnect to enable 5.3 terabytes per second of peak bandwidth. And that allows us to unlock the full potential of 24 gigabytes of GDDR6. So altogether, when you put that together, we have 58 billion transistors in this design, which gives us just an incredible amount of gaming performance.
That's a lot of transistors. I remember when we used to talk about like a couple billion.
It sounds like there's a few excited people out there. Okay, so now let me show you for the very first time our newest chiplet gaming GPU.
All right. You know what? This was in Vegas. I should have gone. I should have like stood up in the crowd and be like, "Let's go!" That would have been funny.
This may be my favorite part of my job, I think. All right, so look, as I said earlier, we set very ambitious goals for RDNA 3, especially around energy efficiency. And I'm pleased to say that we actually exceeded our goals. So our engineers did a fantastic job, and we made great improvements between RDNA 1 and RDNA 2. And with RDNA 3, we actually achieved a 54% gen-over-gen improvement in performance per watt.
That's huge.
And when you put all of that together into what
enormous.
Really matters, we're about building the best products for you. So today, I'm incredibly proud that we're going to announce our first 2 RDNA 3 graphics cards. The Radeon RX.
XTX. Wow.
The Radeon RX 7900 XTX with 24 gigabytes of GDDR6 and the 7900 XT with 20 gigabytes. So you can imagine these are just incredible gaming cards. So now I'm going to turn it over to Sam, Scott, and Frank that are going to take you through all of the exciting product details. Sam?
All right, yeah, let's get those details, baby. Let's get those details. Yeah, so I'm surprised 7900 XTX, they did indeed go with it. It's been a while since we've seen XTX.
As she said, with RDNA 3, our vision was to engineer the most advanced 4K and 8K gaming platform for gamers and creators, containing the features, performance, and efficiency to provide the best gaming experience. To achieve this vision, we have brought unprecedented innovation to all aspects of the design. Now, it's my privilege to hit on a few of those highlights for you this morning. The first and most evident innovation is that we have leveraged our industry-leading expertise in chiplets, honed on our Ryzen and EPYC lines, to bring chiplet architecture to GPUs. The magic of chiplet design is being able to use the right technology for the right job. So we created 2 very different chiplets connected with high bandwidth interconnects specific to graphics. With the graphics compute die, we spin that precious 5 nanometer silicon where it matters, in the core GPU engine where all the computation occurs to enable great performance and performance per watt. For that small memory cache die, we use the mature 6 nanometer technology to implement the GDDR6 memory interfaces and our 2nd generation Infinity Cache. These diminutive but powerful MCDs feature a 2nd generation Infinity Cache, each connected to 64 bits of high-speed GDDR6 memory, combined up to a width of 384 bits. We've tuned this Infinity Cache to enable better data reuse with less capacity to accomplish several things for us. With the high hit rates, it directly sources most of the memory requests, and this delivers data to the engine in less time and uses less power than going out to DRAM. With our high bandwidth Infinity Fabric chiplet interconnect, we've increased the peak bandwidth from our RDNA 2 implementation by an astonishing 2.7 times. And that's where that 5.3 terabytes per second number you just heard comes from.
Sounds like the cache is significantly faster. That's good. That's good.
So now I want to take you a little bit deeper, click down into that graphics compute die.
I think that was an issue with the RX 6000. Was the bandwidth.
With our area-efficient unified architecture that shares resources between rendering, AI, and ray tracing to make most effective use of each transistor. In addition, contained within this GCD is a key part of delivering a great gaming experience, driving the latest displays with massive refresh rates for high-resolution gaming. All of the latest media formats are in there with our media and display engines. Now to the core of the engine, which is the new unified RDNA 3 compute unit, specifically optimized for high-resolution gaming. The key word here is unified, which means we have a tightly integrated unit which shares resources to deliver the most power and area-efficient performance. We've tuned it to provide the right blend of flexible, highly efficient stream processing, additional AI acceleration capabilities, and greatly enhanced ray tracing acceleration. All of this is fed by a general purpose register file with 50% more capacity than the RDNA 2 design, which boosts the performance of all the functions. To deliver this well-rounded feature set, we've leveraged 5 nanometer to the fullest to pack 54% more transistors in less area, increasing our density by 165%.
Man, that's a huge increase. That is a huge increase.
It's a lot of transistors. And as every chip designer knows, smaller is faster and more power efficient. And so this enables RDNA 3 to deliver even a better gaming experience. Now, looking at the stream processors, we took a huge step in RDNA 3 by going to dual issue Wave 32 units.
This
dual
enables
issue us to better utilize the data paths by issuing 2 different instructions down each 32-lane SIMD, or we can use them in parallel like we did in RDNA 2. We can issue different integer or floating point operations down each SIMD data path, mixing and matching based on the workload demand.
This sounds like a really smart design.
Net result is faster frame render times for higher FPS from better utilization of all the functions in the compute unit. It handles now 2 times more instructions per clock. So we have also greatly enhanced the RDNA AI acceleration. And AI, of course, enables a host of capabilities that are growing in importance to the gaming community. And we've increased the AI throughput for commonly used math functions, which, while integrating these tightly within our unified.
I will say this, though. They need to get a different guy
share the same register files
to announce this stuff. He doesn't seem very enthused, does he?
And the enhancements provide up to a 2.7x increase in AI performance.
That's
in the
huge.
most
That's
area
huge.
And power-efficient way possible.
That is absolutely enormous.
Setting RDNA 3 up to exploit the current and future uses of AI. The final enhancement to mention to our compute unit is the ray tracing acceleration, which is built on new instructions.
Okay, huge. 50% more ray tracing performance per CU.
And many improvements for ray box sorting and traversal.
And we have to remember that if there's more CUs, that's also going to stack.
To enable more rays in flight with that 50% larger general purpose register file that I mentioned before, combined with larger L0 and L1 caches to back it up. These improvements provide compelling gains for ray trace gaming content with up to 50% more performance per compute unit. Next, I want to introduce you to our Radiance display engine.
Here we go.
First
DisplayPort 2.1
and a high performance.
What are you doing, NVIDIA? AMD has DisplayPort 2.1 and NVIDIA has 1.4.
This DisplayPort enables 480 hertz refresh rates at 4K resolution and up to 165 at 8K.
That is insane.
And the 12 color bits per channel enables an incredible 68 billion colors for amazingly realistic images and graphics.
That's huge.
And with the display link bandwidth of up now to 54 gigabits per second, we have doubled that bandwidth per port over RDNA 2. And this supports the unprecedentedly high refresh rates at the highest resolutions. In support of the latest media formats and standards, we have a new dual media engine, and it supports 2 simultaneous encode or decode streams up to 8K60 for AVC and HEVC. It supports AV1 encode and decode while also leveraging AI enhancements to improve video encoding and conference quality. And by greatly increasing the frequency inside the media engine, we delivered up to 1.8x the performance versus RDNA 2.
Oh, huge.
Reducing export times almost in half.
That's huge.
So now a bit more about clock
And they're getting AV1, or yeah, so they're getting everything, man. This looks like a huge improvement over RDNA 2.
We're actually more limited by the front-end work distribution and command processing than by our high-performance shader engines. So we recognize that we could utilize higher frequencies in a smarter, more power-efficient way by using our new to RDNA 3 decoupled shader engine frequencies to run only the front end at a typical 2.5 gigahertz, while the shaders operate at a more efficient 2.3 gigahertz, which is still 15% higher than RDNA 2 at launch. With this sort of advanced power management, we deliver the maximum frames per second while also saving up to 25% power. This contributes to our remarkable 54% product level performance per watt gain.
You know, these things might overclock like a demon.
With the higher frequency and the new dual issue RDNA 3 compute units, we enable a 2.7x leap in raw compute power. You heard it from Lisa, a remarkable 61.6
2.7x raw compute performance increase.
Well, putting it all together,
that is massive.
We have delivered on our vision by inventing the world's first chiplet-based gaming GPU, enabling the optimal.
The question is, how does it scale in games? I need to know this.
15% higher frequencies at 54% better power efficiency. Our advanced chiplet interconnect provides an amazing 2.7x leap in peak bandwidth to feed that 60-plus teraflop engine. The new unified RDNA 3 compute units.
This is just such a massive leap over RDNA 2. This is huge.
Fully utilize our data paths and provide incredibly high performance for rendering, ray tracing, and AI.
I mean, it's not even just the compute performance. It's stuff like their new encoding engine. It's stuff like their ray tracing improvements. They got a lot of improvements.
DisplayPort 2.1 to support massive
DisplayPort 2.1
and include the encode and decode for all the latest media standards. The result is what we set out to achieve: the most advanced GPU optimized for gamers and creators. Now I'd like to hand it over to Scott, who will tell you more about this incredible product.
Show us some performance numbers, baby. Let's go. Let's go. All right, let's see. What do we got here?
What's up, gamers? How is everybody doing today? Oh, we've been working on this for 3 years, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of hours in our engineering group. And I'm sure they're tuning in today, but I can't be more proud of what they've been able to create for you and to create for us, and it's going to be a great time. So now, I know what you want to see: performance, price, and availability. Is that right? Do you want to see that?
Yes. Show it to me,
Sounds
baby.
good, but you're going to have to stay for a little bit to get availability and price, but I'll show you performance. I'll show you some performance. So today, 4K sets the standard where enthusiast GPUs are measured. According to IDC, in the last 5 years, there is 3 times increase in shipments of 4K monitors. And the Radeon RX 7900 XTX is going to be the perfect card to power your games at 4K. In pure rendering, the 7900 XTX is up to 1.7 times faster than our previous generation flagship GPU.
Okay, that's pretty good.
And in ray tracing, we are seeing up to 1.6 times more performance in native 4K. What do you think?
So it looks like they're gonna be roughly on par with NVIDIA.
Now that you've seen the performance, allow me to introduce the Radeon RX 7900 XTX.
Because 1.7x over the previous flagship they had would put them roughly
Take a good
on
look.
par.
We've spent a lot of time
minus
optimizing
10%.
this car, but more importantly, making sure that you're going to be proud when you put it into your rig. Absolutely fantastic. This gaming card is built to provide exciting performance in 4K resolution.
That's a small card.
RDNA 3 based GPUs are like no other. It features 96 unified RDNA 3 compute units running at 2.3 gigahertz game clock, and it comes with 24 gigabytes of GDDR6 with 384-bit support. This card is feature-ready with AV1 encode and decode for streaming and video export, and it has the latest DisplayPort 2.1 technology for up to 4K, 480 frames per second, or 8K, 165 frames per second gaming capabilities.
That's about 100 watts less than NVIDIA.
355 watts. The XTX.
Wow. Yeah, they got a performance per watt advantage, that's for sure.
Today, we are also announcing the
that.
Radeon RX 7900 XT, a massive leap in performance over the last generation.
This one's only 300 watts.
84 unified compute units running at a game clock of 2 gigahertz and comes with 20 gigabytes of 320-bit GDDR6 memory with the same support for AV1 and DisplayPort 2.1. The 7900 series gaming cards are industry leaders in performance per watt. There is no need to rebuild your desktop, no need to upgrade your case, and there's no need for a new power adapter.
That cuts deep. Hey, I like the new power adapter though. I will say that.
We made it as easy as pulling out your old card and putting in a new one.
But that is nice. But I do like the new adapter because just one cable.
GPUs, including those recently launched by our competitor, only support DisplayPort 1.4.
Yeah, that's a huge
Gamers who purchase these graphics cards will see limited frame rates. But with the RX 7900 series of GPUs, it'll allow you to actually see the frames you are paying for when you upgrade to a DisplayPort 2.1 monitor. If you are paying that much money for a brand new gaming card, you should demand a GPU that will allow you to game into the future. And only the 7900 series can give you that. And starting in early 2023, an incredible new generation of displays at a range of resolutions from leading display vendors will start rolling out to gamers, including this sneak peek from our friends at Samsung with their brand new Odyssey Neo G9, expected to be the first DisplayPort 2.1 8K, I'll say that again, 8K, ultra widescreen gaming monitor.
Okay, you're grasping.
What do you think?
That is not gonna. I'm sorry. Listen, guys, I know a lot about monitors. I've been doing a lot of testing.
More details.
I bet this monitor's gonna. I bet it's gonna suck. Like knowing the previous,
and to power
knowing the previous Neo monitors and the previous G9 monitor, do not look forward to that thing.
Which includes technologies such as Fidelity FX, Super Resolution, and Smart Access Memory. Combined with our new unified RDNA 3 compute units, the Radeon RX 7900 series delivers the next generation of high refresh rate gaming. AMD's Fidelity FX Super Resolution, or FSR, technology works on all modern GPUs to provide high fidelity visuals and incredible frame rates. In just 16 months, FSR will be available in 216 games.
That's a lot of games.
Proving just how compelling.
No, I'm really glad they have DisplayPort 2.1 but yeah.
Our latest update.
Maybe the Neo G9 is not the monitor to be displaying it on. I don't think I would buy that.
On fast-moving objects,
unless it's
and
OLED.
It'll also be available in Forza Horizon 5 soon. Now, 1440p gaming displays with high refresh rates continue to be one of the fastest growing choices for gamers. With the 7900 XTX and Apex Legends, you will be able to reach the game's hard frame rate cap of 300 frames per second. And in other popular titles,
that's pretty huge.
And in other popular titles, the 7900 XTX can push your games to its limits. Games like Overwatch 2
My God.
and Valorant are great examples of why DisplayPort 2.1 is so important. Now, there's finally a gaming card to drive 300 to 800 frames plus frames per second gaming on ultra high refresh rate displays. Now at 4K, the 7900 XTX is the card to get. By turning on max settings in AAA games and using FSR upscaling, you can hit triple-digit performance. It even makes playing competitive esports titles at 4K a real possibility. Hundreds of frames in your games at 4K resolution. Now, I'm not saying that you would, but you could play games with RX 7900 XTX that go beyond today's 8K 60 Hz limits. In Dawn of Ragnarok, the latest expansion to Ubisoft's acclaimed Assassin's Creed Valhalla, with FSR paired with the 7900 XTX,
okay, with
you'll
FSR,
be able to get
yeah. That, well, you're grasping.
frames per second at a crisp 8K resolution.
Did you hear somebody scream, oh my God?
It's truly incredible to see and experience. The RX 7900 series can power the next generation of displays like 8K ultra-wide or high refresh rate 8K displays above 60 Hz. Next generation RDNA 3 compute units, new levels of memory bandwidth combined with the latest upscaling technologies deliver the performance.
NVIDIA really they should have had DisplayPort 2.1. It's
like
embarrassing that they don't.
Today, I'm excited
Huge
to announce
L. I know there aren't monitors now.
Ray tracing is coming to one of the most popular
but
franchises
one day there will.
in the world, Halo Infinite by 343 Industries.
Oh my gosh, the game that
Halo
hasn't
Infinite
been
will now
completed
ray
yet?
trace shadows
Ray
across arena and big
tracing?
team battle
Oh!
modes. And players with AMD hardware will notice improved lighting, sharper shadows, and increased performance on RX 7000 series platforms with ray tracing.
Okay, nice. So
DXR will
there's
be
sharper
available
shadows,
in
but like,
so look
can
for
they finish the game? Add all the stuff that's missing, fix all the networking issues. Do I need to go
generation
on?
Over generation. In Dying Light 2, with ray tracing features turned to the max, the 7900 XTX delivers performance above 60 frames per second with FSR at 4K. Cyberpunk and Hitman 3 also have significant performance uplifts, giving you the performance you need to stay immersed in your game.
I don't know. Those
Today we're
Cyberpunk
also
performance
announcing a
numbers aren't
partnership with the Callisto
amazing.
Protocol coming in December. This third-person survivor horror game developed by Striking Distance
I think this card's going to do very well in competitive
effects,
esports games.
along with movie-quality textures and animations to set the eerie mood in this sci-fi experience. Ray tracing is used to full effect here, with shadows, translucency, and glossy refractions coming together to capture the most subtle details that create giant leaps in realism. At 4K and higher resolution,
play this game.
the Radeon RX 7900 series is optimized to deliver incredible frame rates to power this experience. Now next, we are also announcing a technical partnership with Luminous Productions and their action RPG, Forspoken, launching in January. Luminous Productions has created some truly breathtaking visuals in a fully realized fantasy world. Powered by hybrid ray tracing
this
for
game
realistic
looks bad.
lighting
I'm sorry.
and shadows on
like
the characters
visually
and
it looks good, but I just
Forspoken
don't have any
looks
interest.
and runs incredibly fast thanks to its implementation of Fidelity FX features, including FSR, variable rate shading, ambient occlusion, and downsampler.
Man, visually this looks incredible though.
We've worked closely with game studios to optimize for the next generation of games. At Ubisoft, Snowdrop has been in development for over a decade and is one of its most important gaming engines. This is the same engine utilized across a variety of PC and multi-platform titles, from Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope to Tom Clancy's Division 2. By the way, one of my personal favorites, long live the Bullet King. If you play the game, you'll know. Today, we are announcing our partnership with their next generation engine. This tech demo is beautifully rendered with global illumination, blur reflections, and shadows in addition to other effects that the Snowdrop engine uses, such as volumetric weather effects and micro detail rendering. We've worked with Ubisoft to add a highly optimized AMD ray tracing implementation that unlocks even smarter ray processing than DXR alone can provide. With high performance ray tracing enabled on a 7900 XTX, we are getting frame rates above 80 frames per second at 4K with FSR2. We're excited
a lot
to
of the
see
stuff
the
they're
Snowdrop
showing with
engine
FSR2,
come to life in
I don't
major
know.
upcoming titles, including Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora.
I have a feeling that
Cell,
some of these
and
games
Ubisoft
at
Star Wars
4K,
Project.
especially with ray tracing, just won't be as
Let's
fast
go.
as the
Indeed.
4090. I think, like I said,
With
I
the
think
announcement
in
of Unreal Engine 5,
competitive
a lot
games,
of
it's
gamers,
going to be
including myself,
really
are excited to
fast.
see what new games and experiences will be created in this popular engine. UE5 is optimized to take full advantage of our unified RDNA 3 compute units with excellent ray tracing and rasterization performance. In this UE5 sample, optimized for Radeon, we're able to hit an average of 60 frames per second at 4K with FSR2 enabled. Even with resounding success of FSR2, we won't stop there. I'm excited to show you a preview of a brand new
Here we
version
go,
of Fidelity
FSR3.
FX super resolution technology, appropriately named FSR3.
This is huge. This is good. This is
FSR3
good.
combines our best-in-class temporal super resolution technology and our new AMD Fluid Motion Frames technology to deliver more frames per second in your games. Fluid Motion Frames increases FPS when using very demanding settings. FSR3 will provide up to a 2x increase in frames per second at 4K resolution over FSR2, a significant boost across your supported games, and will be coming to PC gamers in 2023.
Okay, so it's not here yet, but they're working. So they saw DLSS 3 and they're trying to make their own.
To give an idea of what's possible with our brand new generation of gaming cards, I'd like to show you what Sava and his small team of artists were able to create using a standard animation pipeline to build their dark sci-fi fantasy film, Beckoning, an Unreal Engine in just 4 months. Let's hear from Sava.
My name is Sava Živković. I wrote and directed Beckoning, and I want to briefly talk about how Unreal Engine 5 and AMD are empowering small teams to create cinema-class animated films. In Unreal Engine 5, Lumen and Nanite shine with the Radeon RX 7900 XTX, allowing us to walk around completely lit environments and characters and to explore the shots. This significantly speeds up the production and enables us to make creative decisions at the speed of thought. You can change the lighting, character or environment placement, or entirely change the camera angle if you so desire. This amount of speed and flexibility is unprecedented in traditional animation pipelines, and is one of the main reasons why I personally believe producing feature-length animation with smaller teams is now a reality. And when it comes to high-fidelity output, the FSR Movie Render Cube plugin upscales the final frame rendering to 4K or even 8K. CG animation has never been as fast and as fun.
That looks incredible.
Pretty cool. By the way, in reviewing that video, it sure does make it look easy to create a new movie, doesn't it? But it does. I don't think it is. The Radeon RX 7900 series are the most advanced gaming GPUs. First of all, they are easy to upgrade into your existing gaming rig.
That's good. That's
They
huge.
feature industry-leading
huge.
enthusiast GPU support for next-generation displays. They will
Huge.
deliver ultra-high frame rates in both native and upscale games.
Huge.
And of course, comes with up to 24 gigabytes of memory to drive the next generation of games.
Large even.
All of our innovations enable the 7900 XTX to deliver an incredible leap in performance of up to 1.7 times faster 4K gaming.
So
Now,
they didn't
let
hit
me
their
invite
2X
Frank
goal.
Azor to the stage to show you how the Radeon RX 7900 series powers the next generation of gaming and streaming experiences. Frank?
So basically what it looks like to me is it's just a 4090 with less power and lower ray tracing performance is what I'm getting out of this so far. So
I am incredibly excited to be here with
we will
you
have
guys
to
today.
see
It's just
when it
been so
officially
long
is
since we've been able
available
all be
to do
together
some
and
benchmarks.
to do this the way it deserves to be done, right? In person and just with all these incredible games and visuals behind us. What do you guys think about the new graphics cards?
Yeah,
Awesome, right?
It looks good. It looks good. It's kind of falling where I thought it would.
Don't worry, Scott's going to come back and tell you when you're going to be able to get them and what they're going to be priced at. Okay, I promise.
December.
But they're incredible graphics cards.
1,000,
But you know
1,200.
what's even more incredible?
That's what I think.
Is that at AMD, you get more than just a great graphics card. We're committed to building the absolute best gaming, creating, and streaming experiences. I'm going to share with you today a little bit about some of our latest developments of how we're pulling it all together to bring you the next generation of PCs. Great hardware, as you've seen today, deserves great software.
Yes, let's talk about
And
software.
AMD
Let's do
Adrenalin
this.
is your software interface for harnessing the
Let's do
full
this.
potential of your AMD-powered system. We're committed to bringing you an Adrenaline software that you can depend on.
Yes,
and that
that's
offers
what I want to
you
hear.
state-of-the-art features and next-level gaming experiences, as well as streaming and for creating. If you're not already familiar with AMD Adrenalin, let me catch you up real quickly to what you've been missing. Adrenalin is your hub for just about everything. You can find and launch your games, plus monitor your stats and performance across all the games
There's
on your
way
system,
too much going
all from
on.
one home screen. You can customize your Radeon settings for each game, as well as record and stream those games right from within the UI. You can even turn your system into its own personal game server and connect your smartphone, tablet, or another Windows PC to play your games remotely from anywhere. And of course, you can take full control over your AMD graphics card and your Ryzen CPU and tune them for maximum performance and efficiency. Adrenalin, it's simply awesome. But there's probably two things that I love most about Adrenalin. First, it's the fact that all these features are within one unified UI. And second, it's a completely unlocked experience, meaning we don't force you to create an account.
Love it.
You're not going to be monitored by us.
Love it.
You're not going to be tracked. You can just access all these features. You can customize your system to your content and just play the games you love, because that's what you deserve.
Yes. 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 That is good. I love that.
So let me talk to you about some of the upcoming features you can expect from the next version of Adrenalin. Existing features like Radeon Super Resolution, Radeon Boost, and Anti-Lag are huge performance amplifiers for your gaming experience. But let's be honest, most of us don't want to have to learn about each new feature, how it works, which games it works on, which features work best with one another. When we finally get some time to sit down and game, it's just too much complexity to deal with. I just want to get in the game and I want to play. So we heard you. To simplify all this, we're introducing Hyper RX mode. With Hyper RX, we've redeveloped these performance boosting technologies to all work together and at the same time, compounding their benefits and giving you a one-click experience to improve frame rate and latency. In the game Dying Light 2, just to give you an example, in the game Dying Light 2, we're seeing performance improvements with Hyper RX up to 85% with 1/3 of the latency. It's incredible. So look forward to Hyper RX coming out early next year, and you can experience it yourself.
Early next year. All right.
All right, so let's talk about what are we doing to help improve your recording and your streaming experience.
Yep, let's talk about this.
OBS, as many of you know, is the leading video recording and live streaming platform out there, and it's used by some of the world's most successful and popular streamers. Well, we've partnered with OBS to improve video streaming quality across all bit rates on Radeon RX 6000 and 7000 series graphics cards. Additionally, with the new AMD RDNA 3 media engine, we've added AV1 hardware encoding, improving quality and transforming live streaming. In this example, we're looking at a recorded image of Halo, captured with OBS on the Radeon 7900 XTX graphics card.
Oh, that's so much better.
Both images were captured at the same 3.5 megabit per second bit rate.
Let's go.
As you can see behind me, the quality of the stream and the text within it is visibly pixelated. But with the addition of our AV1 hardware encoding, updated pre-analysis and pre-filtering algorithms, plus our OBS optimizations, the playback quality substantially improves, providing a clear, sharp, and a smooth viewing experience. Additionally, with Xilinx AI and content adaptive machine learning technology, we've integrated that into the AMD framework, and it's been trained to learn, predict, and target
Who's holding this camera
and menus, making them legible again, especially when streaming at low bit rates and resolutions.
Do you see how much it's shaking?
The new AMD RDNA 3 media engine reaches beyond streaming, though. With our dedicated AV1 hardware processing, video encoding is up to 7 times faster than software, even at ultra-high resolutions like 8K.
That's huge.
Support for the RDNA 3 media engine will be available across applications like Adobe Premiere Pro, FFmpeg, Handbrake, and in upcoming releases of OBS.
Yes.
And then for video creators, any video creators in the audience? Anybody create video? You're going to love this. So we're introducing something we call Smart Access Video. Smart Access Video works with select applications when you pair the Ryzen 7000 series with the new Radeon 7000 series. And unlike other platforms that can really only make use of either your CPU or your GPU's video compression engines, Smart Access Video distributes the encoding and decoding workloads across both your Ryzen CPU
that's cool,
and
but
your Radeon graphics cards.
I think that's cool for laptops.
Enabling faster 4K and 8K editing.
I really don't know how much more GPU
Smart
encoding
Access
power
Video
we need.
reduces parallel transcoding times by nearly 1/3. Smart Access Video will be available across applications like OBS, Premiere Pro, FFmpeg, and more starting in December.
That's nice, though.
So
hey, if you got a Ryzen CPU, that's nice.
Let me share with you how we're bringing all these.
Can we get Shaky Jake off of the camera, though,
together
please?
for you into our AMD Advantage.
What is going on?
So when we first introduced Advantage laptops, we raised the bar of what defines just a great portable gaming experience. And Advantage laptops have been carefully designed and developed with our partners to ensure that their premium experiences are felt throughout. Multiple models of these laptops are available in market right now from your favorite OEM and SI.
Leave Shaky Jake alone. He's doing his best.
Nothing compares to building your own desktop if you can. All right. But for those of us that maybe don't have the time, the experience, or the will to do so right now, we've applied a great AMD Advantage design framework that we applied to laptops originally, and we're bringing that to desktops now. We've partnered with several leading system integrators to bring you these turnkey solutions so that whether you're gaming, you're streaming, or creating, Advantage desktops have been designed and developed with our partners to be the best desktops you'll find in the market. All the incredible performance you saw here today from the 7900 XTX, well, that's what you can expect with Advantage desktop systems. It starts by pairing our Ryzen 9 processor and our Radeon XTX graphics card. Then we amplify that performance with our smart technologies, including Smart Access Memory and Smart Access Video, as well as the full feature set of Adrenalin software, including Radeon Super Resolution, AMD Noise Suppression, HyperRX, and more. But Advantage goes even further than that by ensuring every component, from the motherboard to the NVMe drives to the memory, the power supply, all the rest, they all work seamlessly together, and they're all tuned for maximum performance with every design and quality metric followed. Next, we focus on each system delivering its full graphics potential. We know that peak visual quality and performance are incredibly important to gamers. So Advantage desktops have been thermally designed, reliably powered, and rigorously tested to ensure that they deliver on the highest resolution and refresh rate experiences possible on the 7900 XTX. And it all comes together when you pair them with one of the over 2,500 AMD FreeSync monitors available, allowing you to experience the most demanding games at their smoothest and highest settings. And of course, each Advantage desktop is built to game.
I might have to try and grab one of these RDNA 3 cards to test out in my wife's PC so that I can
every single time
give that a look.
We're really excited to be working with all of these partners on
see how it is to run it daily.
Desktops. It's been awesome to be here with you guys today. This is a historic moment. Thank you so much for your time. Let me welcome Scott back on the stage.
Definitely interesting. Okay, let's hear about pricing. Let's hear about availability. Hit me with it, baby. Come on, baby.
Thank you, Frank. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
What an incredible day of announcements that will transform the future of graphics in games. The AMD Radeon 7900 series, built for extreme performance to drive 4K and 8K high refresh rate gaming monitors, powered by the world's most advanced gaming graphics architecture, RDNA 3. Here we go. Starting December 13th, 2022, you'll be able to purchase the 7900 XTX for $999.
That's good. Love that. That is good.
The world's fastest gaming card under $1,000. Also on December 13th, 2022, you'll be able to purchase the 7900 XT for $899.
That's good.
$999 and $899.
Yeah, now you know why
most advanced gaming GPUs
NVIDIA really canceled the 4812 gig.
That's the end of our show. Thank you for joining us today.
And
we can't wait to get these gaming cards in your hands in December. Have a great rest of your day.
That's great. So hopefully they keep this up so we can go back. Yeah, looks like. So we got to talk about this because I think there was, just like NVIDIA, there was a lot of marketing going on. Let's be honest. Here's what I need to look at. We need to look at, which, by the way, I did get a super chat earlier during the during the actual event. I'm sorry I didn't get to it. I can't see it now. It disappeared. So I'm sorry I can't get to it. But thank you anyway. Let's see. Where is it? Where is it? Here we go. I think we need to start by talking about, is it here? No, that's not it. They talked about 1.7x the amount of performance. We need to find that. Ah, here we go. Okay, so we need to talk about this. We need to break this down. Let's cut through the marketing just like we did with NVIDIA. We also got to do the same with AMD, because remember, these guys want to sell you graphics cards. They want to show their stuff in the best light. Everybody does it. And so we're going to cut through the marketing nonsense. So what's going on here? Native 4K gaming versus Radeon RX 6950 XT. Now, the 6950 XT, it depends on who you ask and what games you look at, but that is more of a 3090 Ti competitor. I think some people would even say 3090. Honestly, it really depends on what you're doing, but I would say overall, I kind of agree. I'd say 6950 XT is more comparable to 3090. 3090 Ti just has, with the ray tracing and everything else, is just that little bit above the 6950 XT. So just for the sake of argument, let's say 6950 XT is 3090 performance. Let's just say that, again, depending on what games you play, it could be more like 3090 Ti, but let's say 3090. If this is up to 1.7x the amount of performance of a 3090, where would that put that? That would put the 7900 XTX on average 10% behind the RTX 4090. Now, before you freak out, even if that's true, even if the up to number, which by the way, the 4090 is 80, it's roughly, depending on what benchmarks you look at, roughly 80% faster overall, not up to, overall. So let's say that the RTX 4090 is 80% and this is 70%. If we're going to be generous, that would mean that the 4090 is 10% faster, at least 10% faster on average, for 95 watts more power. That's up to you. Obviously, not a great look for NVIDIA power-wise, but yes, that would mean that NVIDIA does indeed still have the fastest graphics card on the planet. And so if you bought a 4090, I guess, yeah, you probably still have the fastest video card, but it comes with caveats. Draws more power, doesn't have DisplayPort 2.1, which honestly, guys, DisplayPort 2.1, I made a whole video on that. That is so shockingly awful that NVIDIA does not include DisplayPort 2.1. I can't even believe it. So, by the way, I'll try and get to your guys' comments here in a minute, but right now, I really just can't get to regular comments right now because I'm going to be talking about this. But I'll try and get to super chats right now. I'll try and read as many regular comments as I can later. But thank you so much for the super chat, Zilara. Thank you for the $5. It says, I'm not thrilled about December release dates, but the prices are nice. Actually, respectively, $100 to $200 less than what I expected. Yes, and you're right, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But that is definitely correct. I think the pricing is absolutely fantastic. So they priced them what they did for a reason, and we're going to continue talking about that. It says up to 1.7x times performance, but if you look at their chart, it looks like, if we're just going to pull out the calculator, let's pull out the old calculator here, boys. What's 1.5 plus 1.5 plus 1.7 plus 1.5 plus 1.5 plus 1.6? That's 9.3, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. So you take 9.3, divide by 6. What does that give you? That gives you 1.55. So suddenly, 1.7 isn't looking so great. Now, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's say 6950 XT is not on par with 3090. Let's say it's on par with 3090 Ti. if you want to look at it that way, NVIDIA's just a little over 60% faster than 3090 Ti on average. This looks like 55% faster, assuming the AMD isn't being generous. So again, even in the best case scenario, giving them the benefit of the doubt, the 4090 will likely be roughly 10% faster than the 7900 XTX. That's just the reality of it. So they got about a 55% increase. NVIDIA got, I believe it's over 60%. In fact, let's be accurate. Let's take a look at a TechSpot review. 4090 review. And let's see what they said, because I think they do good GPU reviews. I think they do very good GPU reviews. Let's see. 13 game average. The 4090 is 59% faster than the 3090 Ti. And 70, okay, this is going to muck things up a little bit, boys. 71% faster than the 6950 XT on average. So this would mean that they're falling short of NVIDIA's 4090, according to TechSpot's numbers, by about 15%. So very, very interesting. So since it's 15% slower, obviously you can't charge the same amount of money. I was expecting them to come in at $1,200. At $1,200, it would have been fine. But at $1,000, if you're only 15% slower in typical 4K gaming, hey, that's not bad. We do have to look closely at their chart, though, here, guys, because if you look at the games on here, you'll notice that they did include ray tracing, which is good, which means that the ray tracing has clearly improved significantly. But Cyberpunk 2077 appears to not have ray tracing on. Now, what does this mean? Cyberpunk 2077 is a very heavily ray traced game. So if they did not include ray tracing on this, I have a feeling this would, if they included ray tracing, drop their average even lower. So we have to keep in mind, it does appear like they are probably benchmarking things in a way that will give NVIDIA, that will make they're benchmarking things in a way that probably make AMD's card look like it's in a good light, as I would expect anyone to do, including NVIDIA. So there you have it. In terms of the performance, where is AMD? They're falling 15% short of NVIDIA. If we're going to be generous, it could be even greater. It could be 20% short. But again, at $1,000, if you're missing 15, even 20% performance, but you're saving $600, hey, that's a pretty good deal. We also have to keep in mind, these video cards are at 355 watts. Now, what happens when you feed 450 watts into them? Can you make up the 15% gap? It's a good question. Now, you can also overclock the 4090, so we can't necessarily say, that makes it as good as the 4090, but if you can buy a $1,000 card, and let's say that the 4090 only gets a 10% overclock or 12%, and the 7900 XTX gets a 15 or 16% overclock, that overclock could narrow the gap. So yeah, overall, guys, I think that this card is fantastic. It's not going to dethrone NVIDIA in terms of ultimate performance, and I think there are going to be some people who are going to be a little bit disappointed by that. And to be honest with you, that's a fair enough assumption to come to, because I think that we all are very desperate to see AMD come out on top. Not simply, even if you're someone who isn't going to buy an AMD GPU, it would be nice to see AMD outright win with no questions, no, it only wins here, it only wins there. No, I'd like to see AMD win in rasterization. I'd like to see them win in software. I'd like to see them win in ray tracing. I'd like to see them do it. But it looks like today is not going to be that day. The reason why I think so many people want to see AMD completely win against NVIDIA would be because this is going to force prices to come down. Now, this is good too. Don't get me wrong. $1,000 for a card that only falls short by 15%, that's going to have to force NVIDIA to make some changes. I mean, obviously they aren't going to be able to go ahead and, bring out their 4080 12 gigabyte anymore, because if the 4080 12 gigabyte is $900 and it's getting smoked by a card that's the same amount of money, yeah, they can't release that card. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if NVIDIA chose not to bring out the 4080 12 gigabyte more so because of what AMD has versus what people like me were saying. I'm sure the community reaction, I'm sure me telling people, hey, don't buy the 4080 12 gigabyte definitely had an impact. But I think it's probably more realistic that this had a bigger impact. Because if we move ahead to the slides here now, where they show the pricing, which we're going to do right now. It's about right at the very end here. Here we go. Here it is. Yep. Let's take a look at this slide. $999 for the 7900 XT. That is a fantastic price, guys. Honestly, if you're in the market for a new video card, this really could, especially if you're a gamer. Now, we don't know how great it's going to be for content creators and streamers yet. They're promising improved features. It looks good, but I got to see it before I can put it in my personal system. But for gamers specifically, I'm sure that the software is going to be fantastic. I'm sure that the cards is going to be fantastic. And that being the case, if you can save $600 and come very, very close in terms of performance, I think the 7900 XTX makes a lot of sense. What makes even more sense is probably the 7900 XT. $900 probably going to come in, 10% or maybe even less than 10% of performance of the 7900 XTX, and doing it with 55 watts less power. I mean, you shove 400 watts of power into this card instead of 300 watts, all of a sudden it could not only, match the 7900 XTX, you might be beating it. So this could be the card to get. This really, really could. At $900, that could be absolutely fantastic. Now, I do still want to see their 7800 XT and their other cards. I think those could be absolutely fantastic. But these two cards are looking great. So I think the price is great. I think the performance is good. I think it did fall a little short, honestly, even than what I was expecting. I was expecting them to come a little bit closer to NVIDIA. But overall, very, very good. Because I know there were people who were talking about like over 2x amount of performance. I did hear like 2.7x performance. And to be fair, they did get 2.7x the amount of compute, but they did not get 2.7x the amount of performance in gaming. There does appear to be some sort of massive scalability issues with these cards. It might have something to do with the way that they're architecting the card as a whole, the way that they can send multiple instructions down the pipeline at once maybe doesn't quite translate as well. It could have something to do with the MCD plus GCD. We don't know that yet until we get the cards and do some more testing. But overall, hey, yeah, performance is looking great. The price is looking great. So if you're in the market for a 4090, honestly, yeah, I think it's worth waiting and seeing if you can get one of these cards. It's way cheaper, and it's going to give you most of the performance. Now, what is NVIDIA going to do to counter these cards? Because that's a good question. And to be fair, here's what I think NVIDIA is going to do. They got stuff waiting in the wings to release. I believe that they're going to release the, not the 4090 Ti yet. I think they'll actually, yes, they will release 4090 Ti, but they're going to release two cards, the 4080 Ti and the 4090 Ti. So I think that eventually the 4080 16 gigabyte will drop to $1,000. Eventually. Probably not right away, but eventually it will. They should at some point drop in the 4080 Ti at $1,300 or $1,200, but I think it will start at $1,400. Now, $1,400, if the 4080 Ti is a 20 gigabyte card, which I'm sure it will be, 320-bit 20 gigabyte card, the 4080 Ti will not only have a large amount of memory, but on top of that, I think in terms of performance, will probably match, if not exceed, the 7900 XTX by a small margin and by a significant margin in terms of ray tracing. Now, $400 more for that is a bit of an ask. That's why I think eventually it needs to drop to $1,200. I think if the 4080 16 gigabyte comes in at $1,000, 4080 Ti at $1,200, and then you got 4090 at, say, 1400 and then 4090 Ti at 1600. I think that works. I think that's going to work for NVIDIA because the 4090 Ti does have more SMs. It's 144 versus, I believe, is it 126 or 128? Let's do the math real quick here. 126 times 128. Was it 126? Gosh, I can't remember. It's either 126 or 128. Let's look it up real quick. 4090 CUDA cores. Let's see. Okay, so it's 128 SMs on the 4090, and so 128 minus 144. So they got 16 more SMs on the 4090 Ti that they can bring out, and that would be 144 over 128. That would be a 12% increase in shaders on the 4090 Ti. It would also be probably an increase in frequency. Now, I heard that the 4090 Ti is not only going to have 144 SMs, not only is it going to have, the whole 18,000 some shaders, but I also heard it's going to have a 475 watt TDP, so a slight increase in that. It's also supposed to be bin silicon, so these things should be exceeding 3 gigahertz with ease, and that should pretty much cement NVIDIA's lead. So I think that's what they're going to do. Okay, so we got a super chat from XO. Thank you so much for the €5. He says 4090 is $2,600 in Europe. Do you think NVIDIA might... sorry about that. Do you think NVIDIA might drop the price of the 4090 due to the price gap of the 7900 XT of the 7900 XTX? No, not right now. I think eventually they should when they drop in the 4090 Ti, but they don't even have to. I think it would make sense, though. Like I said, I think you bring in, you move the 4080 to 1,000, you bring in the 4080 Ti at $1,200, $1,300 max, probably $1,200. You move the 4090 down to $1,400, 4090 Ti comes in at $1,600. I think that makes sense. I really do. I think that makes a lot of sense. Which, by the way, again, thank you so much for the super chat. And again, I'll say it again, guys. If you're watching right now, if you drop a super chat, get a hold of me afterwards, after the show, either via Twitter or my email, and I'll get you a Discord link. All super chats will get you a Discord link if you get a hold of me after the show. So, and also very much appreciated. So thank you guys for all the super chats. But yeah, let's talk about this a little bit more. So somebody's saying rip AMD. I don't think so, guys. This is not a rip AMD moment. This is very competitive. It's good. So it's just going to come down to, for me, so the price is good, the performance is good. What is the software stability looking like? What is their ray tracing performance looking like? What is their Adobe Premiere support looking like on day one? Is it going to work? Can creators use it on day one? Is OBS going to work flawlessly with no crashes? Is the streaming video quality going to be the same as NVIDIA? These are things that we have to answer when these cards come out, because on purely a price to performance standpoint, they're very, very competitive. They might not beat NVIDIA. They are